All right, you guys. So the first thing we're gonna do is prep the hair, get it ready to be cut. So I'm just giving it a quick comb through. See, he had a little lint in his hair. I would have liked to have maybe washed his hair first, but hey, we was pressed for time, so it is what it is. So we just prepping the hair basically to prepare for the haircut. So combing it through, getting all of the curls and naps out of there, and yeah, getting ready for the cut. Alright guys, I'm taking my Slimline Pros and I am creating my first guideline. So this one is going to swoop around the top of the ear. It's going to start at the front of the hairline, go all the way around the back of the head to do the same swoop on the other side of the head. Main thing about this is you just want to make sure it's a clean line and that it's even on both sides so you can get a good fade and it won't look lopsided. I wish I had the chair where a real barber chair where I could spin them around so you can see what I'm doing on the other side of the head, but basically what I do on one side of the head, I'm doing the exact same thing on the other side. So as I do more videos and stuff like that and get deeper into this game, I'll upgrade my equipment, but this is what I gotta work with for right now. So work with me, y'all. Next, I'm taking my Andes Masters and I'm gonna close the guard. So it's a one closed. I did a one open right now, but I think I changed it into a one closed because I wanted it a little bit lower than that. So I like trimming the hair down second after I make my first guideline so I can fade the hair a lot easier. If that makes sense. You'll see. So we're closing it, going all the way around. You just don't want to make sure you get every hair. Make sure it's all even around. Make sure there's no clumps or anything like that. So pretty simple step. Also, I'm going with the grain of the hair. So he doesn't have a wave pattern or anything, but I'm just so used to going with the grain. If you go against the grain, it'll cut it even lower. Next, I'm taking my Andy shavers, and we're just gonna bald. Make sure the bottom of the fade is completely bald, and what that does is it makes the fade pop more at the end. So just going all the way around the head with the Andy shavers and getting all of the small hairs that the liners didn't get. Next, I'm taking my Andes Masters, and we're gonna go up about an inch, more or less. And I just want to go up that high so I can give my fade a little more room to play with. You know what I'm saying? You don't want the fade too tight. So I'm taking my Andes Masters, and we have the lever all the way open, and we're just creating that guideline of an inch, give or take, around the whole head. In the back, you can go up a little bit more. Well, that's how I like to do it. Just go up a little bit more in the back, and then you know, just check and make sure that it's all even all around. So what you do on one side, you have to do to the other side. Now I'm closing the lever, and I'm trying to knock out that bottom line. Now, I don't have my Andes Masters adjusted, zero gapped, so I'm also going to use the liners to help knock out that bottom line if it doesn't come out all the way with the Masters. So and now I'm moving the lever up and down and just going into the first guideline, not anywhere past it, but up in between there. And you can move the lever up and down to create that fade effect. So you'll see me moving the lever up and down. Sometimes I like to stretch the skin to get the hair more visible so the clipper can knock it off. Especially with a small head. So on kids, sometimes I like to stretch the skin. And as you can see, the fade effect is starting to come. So it takes time, and you might not get it on the first try, so you just got to keep going in until you get the effect you visualize in your head. Next, I'm slapping that one guard back on there, and now I have it open, and then I'm just attacking that main guideline right there with the thick hair, and we're just gonna tap at it. Don't go too deep into the cut, but you want to fade on that line to get it to fade into everything else that's below it. There it is, and then you can move the lever close a little bit, and then attack that line a little bit even more. Brush the hairs down to see what you're working with. Now we're going to take the zero guard closed, and we're just going to tap at that middle guideline that's still dark, that's not faded completely yet. Now with this, you don't want to go too high at all, or it will ruin the fade, and you'll have to adjust the whole fade all over again. So be careful with this zero guard. And I'm just using the zero guard close to knock down the hairline to get a cleaner line when I get to the lining part. And like I said, you can always go back in with the masters if you see something you don't like. The cut isn't over until you say it is. So you don't want anybody to walk out of that chair until you're completely satisfied with what you're giving them. So I like to go in, now that I can see the fade, the whole thing, just go in and touch up some things. All right, now for the line, and we're just gonna brush the hairs down. And then you want to make sure you hold the head still, because kids like to move. You should always hold the head, regardless if it's a kid or not. Rest the 2 fingers on the forehead so you can, have better leverage with the clippers. And then you start at the middle, work your way left, work your way right, work your way left, work your way right. And his lining is kind of one that you have to create because he has hair all over his forehead. So you just want to make sure you give him a nice crispy lining. Once you work your way left, work your way right, now all you have to do is the straight drop downs. So the left side, making sure that's straight, right side, making sure that's straight. I wish I could have turned his head towards the camera so you could have seen me doing this, but it's all right. All right, guys, and this is the cut. Let's see, I'll take the camera so you can see the full cut. The back, the sides. There we go. That's that. Nice crispy lining. Didn't cut them. Straight across. Straight lines. Boom. Island cuts. Woo!